How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? As a writer, and a poet in particular, I inadvertently chose a difficult path in life. Luckily, I was also quite good at making money in other ways, but if I'd had to survive on my poetry writings, I would have starved shortly after leaving home. So many people insist on writing what they call poetry when they've no idea what poetry is or how to write it. And they give poetry a very bad name. Let's put it this way. Would you like to go to a poetry reading tomorrow evening? No, I thought not. You'd probably prefer to stop in and watch a naff B movie. These boring, hopeless, dreary pretend poets who get in the way have ruined the whole business for those of us who can actually entertain an audience. For the record, let's get a few things clear. I have published half a dozen books of poetry. Won an award for one of those books, and that was from a proper, well-respected poet, not some advertising gimmick. Done paid-for readings in 20 or so countries. Appeared on the radio in the UK. Appeared on the BBC World Service with my material. Had my poems read on Dutch TV. Had exhibitions of my concrete art in the UK and in the US. Performed with famous artists such as John Cage. Done readings while touring with pop bands. And my audiences have sobbed, laughed, and on two notable occasions given me a standing ovation. You don't get all that if you're no bloody good. Right. That's the short advertising copy I was asked to produce. Now a short explanation of what this blog is all about. I've been asked to prepare and deliver a series of sessions on how to write poetry. This is going to be difficult because I shall have to do this in the face of appalling ignorance. To my detractors, I only have one thing to say. My audience is like me and keep coming back. Do yours? I also write contemporary material. I write in a dozen different formats, and that includes audio and pictorial. I've also lectured on various aspects of poetry at a prestigious university. I shall be referring to poetry throughout the ages in order to show how certain poets have solved problems, and that naturally will include my own. I then want to show you what is special and indeed essential about poetry and why it isn't just a kind of prose. It has a different ethos, a different purpose, and I can say right from the start that there is no such thing as open form. Ugh. Open form is simply a pompous term for no form at all, and poetry without form is something with its guts stripped out. I then want to try and guide those who wish to come along to the forum with how to use language, ideas, form and creativity to produce something of value that will entertain, reach down to the parts other forms of writing don't reach, and produce something worthwhile and hopefully memorable. In practical terms, what this means is that I shall be presenting a series of tutorials on the subject and will give examples of how other poets have managed to achieve certain aims. Matters will not stop there. I will also be inviting folks to participate in this adventure and produce their own works based upon what they have learned. In short, I'll be here to advise and indeed help. And I hope that at the end of the day we can put together a public performance, or indeed many such performances, of the best work achieved over the duration of the course, however long that may take. These things are open-ended. And just for starters, here's a short selection, very short, of different types of my poetry, just as a starter. You're welcome to send me your own, which, if it's real poetry, I will upload to the site. If you require a critique, I will happily give one in an attempt to help you write better. Okay, here we go. The Nightingale. I am the nightingale, and I sing because I cannot sleep. And so my voice searches in the dark to write my name in song. I am the nightingale, so wound up by the spring of life that makes me sing, and I will never know the consequences. I am the nightingale. Hear me and rejoice that I, although I cannot sleep, have found a beauty in my soul that I can share with you. Shines bright like broad daylight as I'm sitting in the park. I see it all there, my past laid bare by a spotlight moon in the dark. The magic of love that we dream of, we knew it would never pass. A magical night, a magical light, moon shadows dancing in the grass. White nights, when the moon rides high. White nights, when the sun goes cold. White nights, when eternity goes by. White nights, when you never grow old. When you never grow old. I can sit in the dark in some other park, but I'll never recapture the night when a moonlight shaft goes straight to your heart and lights up the rest of your life. But there will always be something shining in me that will light me till the day I die. And if you look at me, I'm sure you'll see those moonbeams shine from my eyes. White nights, when the moon rides high. White nights, when the sun goes cold. White nights, when eternity goes by. White nights, when you never grow old. When you never grow old. You can never go back, no, never go back to capture that moment of truth. You'll never grow old, your heart will never grow cold since you're touched by that moment of truth. And it doesn't matter why or how hard you try, you won't find a rainbow's end. The rainbow's high in a darkened sky, but the rainbow's always your friend. White nights, when the moon rides high. White nights, when the sun goes cold. White nights, when eternity
goes by. White nights,
when you never
grow old,
when you never
grow old. White nights, when the moon rides high. White nights, when the sun goes cold. White nights, when eternity goes by. White nights,
when you never